Even those people who are even studying in English, they have to write the HSK exam. A lot of people who have written, so many people fail the exams. Before you can even start your studies, I know that you have to write the exam. Even when you're applying for jobs, some company actually ask you for HSK. She was gisting me of this girl that after her first year of studying Chinese, she wrote the HSK 5 exam and she failed it, and then she was deported back. If someone had told me to choose, I will not have chosen to study in Chinese. Hello everyone, welcome back again to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be answering a question that was asked by one of you. So let me read it, guys. This question was asked by one of you concerning the Chinese scholarship, and a lot of people actually asked similar questions. I have an acceptance letter. My major is in Chinese. I don't have HSK yet. Can I still apply? A lot of you just kept asking questions concerning this HSK, and I said, okay, I'm going to do a video just talking about HSK and what this HSK exam is all about, whether you need it before you can be able to get acceptance to universities. For some of you that don't know what HSK is actually like an exam to show that you can actually speak Chinese or you cannot speak Chinese. A lot of schools use these exams to just know whether you can speak Chinese or not. Even when you're applying for jobs, some company actually ask you for HSK. I have to write the HSK 5, so I understand why a lot of people keep asking questions about this whole HSK exam. I understand, because if now your major is in Chinese, you actually need to think about the HSK exam. A lot of bachelor, they have to write this HSK exam because they are doing pure Chinese, like their major, their course is in Chinese. My course is in Chinese. I have to write the HSK 5 exam. For those people who are doing English in my school, they also need to write the HSK exam. They are writing the HSK 3 exam. So for my school, I can say yes, you need the HSK exam. But do you need that exam to apply? No, you don't need the exam to apply. The school will look at your qualification, but this exam, you need to know that you don't need to write it before you actually start applying. You don't need to write the exam before you start school. A lot of people that are graduating this year they just wrote the exam like December. And the beautiful thing about this HSK exam is that even though you don't pass, like if you don't pass the exam the first time, you can always write it the next month. It's not something that like you have to be like, oh, I failed, oh no. You can always write. You can write the next month. But I know that before this whole coronavirus started, they didn't give this grace, so I can't really tell about like after the whole coronavirus. But I know that before coronavirus, you have to write the exam and pass the exam before you can even start your studies. I know that you have to write the exam. I remember someone even gisting me, and she was even scaring me. She was gisting me of this girl that after her first year of studying Chinese, she wrote the HSK 5 exam and she failed it, and then she was deported back because the school requested that you have to pass the exam. After you've done your Chinese for like a year, you need to write that exam and you need to pass it before you can even start your major. That's the truth. Some school will ask you that after you've done Chinese for a year, you need to write that exam and you need to pass it before you can actually start your major. But there are some schools that they don't really require that. You can actually do it like while you are studying your major, or you can do it before you graduate. I know that my school, they actually request for the HSK exam before you can even start your major, but because of the coronavirus and so many other things, they allowed it. Most of us studied from home, so you cannot even expect that our Chinese will be like perfect. So they actually said, okay, after your exam, don't worry, you can actually start your major, and while you are doing your major, you can actually do the exam, or you can do the exam before you graduate, but you need to actually do the exam and pass the exam. Is HSK hard? a lot of people who have written, so many people fail the exam. So yes, it's hard if you don't study. Actually, exams are hard if you don't study, but if you study, like, I know you will surely pass. A lot of people are passing, so why won't you pass? After you've applied, you've gotten the scholarship, you can even come start studying the Chinese. And then after you've studied the Chinese for a period of time, then you can actually start writing the exams. They have from HSK 1 to HSK 6. You can write HSK 6. You can even start from HSK 1 just to see how it is. HSK 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, then till 6. Before, for the people who had to study in English, they don't need to write the HSK 3 exams. They actually were just allowed to write HSK 1 or 2, I guess. But now they changed the policy, and they're like, even those people who are even studying in English, they have to write the HSK exam, and they have to write the HSK 3 exams. A lot of people still pass this exam. So yes, if you study hard, you will still pass. You have nothing to be afraid of. I'll always advise you that if you are not a language person, you know you know yourself, because if someone had told me to choose, I will not have chosen to study in Chinese. I'm telling you, I would have chosen to study in English, because it's so hard. Like, it's so hard to really study in Chinese. I'm not trying to discourage you, because trust me, there's the advantage of studying Chinese. Like, I feel like I will advise you to study in Chinese, because you're coming here and they're speaking Chinese. You literally do not understand anything. So I have more advantage because I study in Chinese, so I can easily communicate with the Chinese people, you know. But for if I did not even study in Chinese, I would just be lost, you know. Still safe, I'm still struggling, let me not even lie. If you told me from the beginning, will I want to study Chinese, I would be like, no, because it's so hard. But trust me, it's worth it. Like, it's worth it, because most people, after they graduate, you know, maybe they want to apply for jobs back in China, and just because, you know, they can't speak Chinese, their Chinese is not so good, you see them that they don't get to stay back in China, they don't get to work. But for those people who their Chinese is really good, you know, they can actually stay back to work in China. And if you are favored, you can actually get a job that requires that, oh, okay, you can stay back and work in China. Especially some companies, they really ask for that HSK exam, so it's actually important. I know someone who actually wrote the HSK 6 and passed HSK 6, you know. And so I feel like I've not written the exam, I've not yet written the HSK exam. I'm going to write mine soon, but I know that you don't need it before you can apply. I hope I was able to answer your question. If you have any other question concerning this whole HSK, just leave it down below. I can actually talk more about it. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.